being a wrestling fan growing up, I obviously was bullied and I kept quiet about it. And I think that especially like in this day and age, we're kind of teaching kids to be themselves and be proud of themselves. And having environments like this is so important because you're surrounded by other kids like you, and it's finding your community.
Hello, wrestling fans. I'm Emily Mae. We are here at Royal Rumble weekend at the WWE community event. I'm with Candice LeRae. How are you doing?
Amazing. How are you?
I'm great.
Awesome.
So both grew up in Southern California. So what's your favorite thing to do in California, Southern California?
Disneyland. Surprise.
Surprise, surprise. I know, me too.
But I will say that where I grew up, we were by the desert, the beach, the mountains. Like, you could go ski in the mountains, drive an hour or so, go to the beach same day. So, it's the good life. I miss SoCal.
But what's your favorite thing to do here? You also have Disney here in Florida.
It's true, but it's not the same. It's just not. But, I'll just let it be known. I am Disneyland biased. Won't walk those streets. And this park out here is just so massive. But I do love it, and I'm getting to have new experiences and new memories with my son. So it's maybe now I'm going to change my... No, I'm not changing my mind. Disneyland's better.
I officially just experienced Epcot for the first time. So I'm still on a little Disney... I loved it. It was amazing.
Amazing.
So what's been your favorite memory, as someone recently new mom, kind of enjoying with your son and all the new experiences that all comes with?
I think it's sharing my husband and my interests with him, and him actually genuinely being excited about it. Like right now he's on a Nightmare Before Christmas kick. So we're doing a second birthday Nightmare Before Christmas theme. And it's just kind of fun to just on his own, he kind of picks up the songs and singing and dancing. And my favorite thing right now that we do is we go, I'm Jack the Pumpkin, and he goes, King. And it's just, those kinds of things are the best. It's obviously not ideal when he's scared on rides, but I will take him singing Jack the Pumpkin King all day, any day.
So my nephew would literally sing This Is Halloween all the time. He was obsessed.
I love it. It's honestly the coolest thing ever when their personalities are coming out, and he's at that almost 2 where everything is his personality, just everything turned up to play 100.
Does he understand what mom and dad does?
I'm not sure, actually. And it's probably got to be weird for him because he has figures of us and he shows them to us. I'm like, okay, so he knows that that's us, but he probably just thinks that that's normal. And that's where my husband and I are kind of having this out of body experience where all the figures that we had growing up were people we thought we'd never meet. And he's got mom and dad. Yeah. So
that's amazing.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
That's so special. So we are here at the Boys and Girls Club, and WWE just cut the ribbon for the Super Spaces. And I know that it's so important for WWE Superstars to teach young kids, anti-bullying and how to stand up for themselves. So what's your stance on that, and how are you going to teach your son how to really kind of fight off all those negative people?
Well, being a wrestling fan growing up, I obviously was bullied and I kept quiet about it. And I think that especially in this day and age, we're kind of teaching kids to be themselves and be proud of themselves. And having environments like this is so important because you're surrounded by other kids like you, and it's finding your community. You know what I mean? And that's why being a wrestling fan my whole life, I can kind of, it's all a crossover because being a wrestling fan and finding my people has got me here. So I'm glad that we're able to provide spaces and safe spaces for them. And I don't know if you've been in there, but I hope you get to go take a look. It's amazing. It's so cool. I wish I had something like that growing up. It's so cool.
It's so important to find your people and the community that really supports you. So speaking of Royal Rumble, we were all here for the Royal Rumble weekend. What has been your favorite moment as a fan watching?
So I would have to say, well, I actually just said a little bit ago, but now that I'm having time thinking about it, it'd be Shawn Michaels the first time he won, because that was my pick, and it was the first and only time my pick won. But started thinking about it right now when you were asking, and I went, oh, it's really cool to see my husband do it. What was I thinking? It was really cool to see my husband do it. Sorry, Johnny. I said Shawn Michaels earlier to somebody else. It's you. It's you.
So now you're out of the doghouse. You're good.
Thank goodness. Thank you. Thank you for this.
You redid. Do over.
Do over. Here we go.
So speaking of your husband, Johnny Gargano, can you share something that we don't know about him?
Oh, my goodness. Christmas morning, he expects that I bring all of his gifts down in the middle of the night, which is very, very frustrating because I grew up with all the gifts adding up around the tree, and then Santa came and more gifts came. But Shawnee insists that every single gift I get him and wrap has to come down in the middle of the night, and he can't know that I have to try to, and he's a light sleeper. It's impossible. Impossible.
So you have to give him earplugs and like headphones and just really make sure he doesn't hear.
Turn up the TV on and then just hope that I can get out of bed safely.